Всех приветствую на русском языке. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Irina, and I am the organizing committee chair. I want to thank you all for joining us here today for the 2021 Cross-Cultural Marathon of the Southern Federal University. Before I address the agenda, I just want to say that I want to welcome you this afternoon on behalf of the Department of Linguistics and the Institute of Management in Economical, Ecological, and Social Systems. This week, we are having a lot of work to do. We structurally this afternoon will have the opening ceremony of the 4th International Conference, Languages and Cultures in the World of Today. On Wednesday, the 28th of April, we'll be happy if you join the roundtable discussion, Cross-Cultural Communications in the World of Today in Microsoft Teams. And you can show your knowledge of English and Russian in the international student competitions in English and in Russian on Thursday and on Friday. And now we are privileged to welcome the Director of Institute of Management in Economical, Ecological, and Social Systems of Southern Federal University, Doctor of Economics, Doctor of Law, Pavel Pavlov.
I would like to welcome all participants of our conference.
Thank you. Thank you, Pavel Vladimirovich. Thank you very much. Thank you. And we'll continue, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome the General Chair of the Marathon, PhD in Pedagogy, Head of the Department of Linguistics, Yulia Privalova. Yulia Vladimirovna.
Dear colleagues, students, and dear friends, with great honor and gratitude, I'm standing here on behalf of the organizing committee, and I would like to welcome you all to the Cross-Cultural Marathon of Southern Federal University, which will bring together over 100 participants from different countries of the world. We are holding an event of this scale for the first time, and it will last a whole week. During the next 5 days, we will cover all major subject areas of language, culture, and communication. And we will listen to world-renowned scholars and scientists talk and discuss the urgent problems of cross-cultural communication of today and tomorrow. And I would really love to thank my team, the Department of Linguistics, the backbone of this marathon, and my special gratitude goes to each member of the organizing committee, that is Pavel Pavlov, Елена Защитина, Irina Danilova, Maria Nichepurenko, and Svetlana Baluyan, who made this marathon possible. I would like to wish all the participants the joy of scientific communication, the joy of scientific discoveries, the joy of creation and creativity, and the joy of cross-cultural communication. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And finally, it gives me great pleasure to open the plenary session of the conference. And with that, I will hand over to Juan Tovar Hernandez, Quality Department Director, LLC, WRS Towers. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. First of all, thanks to all of you to come in here and to listen to me. It's a big pleasure for me to come here and to share my, let's say, my personal and small experience here in Russia. When I came here more than 2 years ago, I didn't know how difficult it would be. Of course, we were advised about peculiarities of this country, especially the language and the way of thinking. But everything about you could think from the comfort of your house and country is multiplied when you are working abroad on a daily basis. Apart from work, which has been the main purpose of coming, you have to think that your life is going to continue. There is no point in life only working. You need to have a life out of the work. Luckily for me, I haven't come alone. We belong to a quite big company with good partners here in Russia, and they have worried about us since the very beginning. Thinking about our beginning, apart from language, which was maybe the biggest problem, culture and way of thinking is very much different to European people. And luckily for us, we discovered how much important paper is here. I cannot count the amount of documents that we had to sign when we started, and almost every day, without forgetting about migration card in the airport and registration paper every time you change your place of living. Returning to the point of language, our company supported us even before starting working here. In Spain, we learn Russian with a native teacher, 2 days per week, and here we continue with this method. Now we have been learning Russian for 3 years in that way. Despite of time and incredible teacher we have here, Mary, there are a lot of situations in which we cannot consider ourselves independent. Anyway, we have improved a lot because we are surrounding of people who speak Russian and English, so our ears are much more used to listening Russian language. If we talk about work and business, difference with Europe appear too. Under my point of view and my short experience, European way of thinking and working is much more practical and intuitive. Meanwhile, in Russia, everything is covered with tons of paperwork behind. Despite all of this difference, it's not possible to say that Russian workers are worse or less productive than European ones. There are really good professionals here, very hard workers and people with good knowledge in different fields. From all this experience, if I can share something with all of you, and which I consider as a background of this story, is the amazing importance of language. To put a very visual example, when we started hiring people here in Russia, it was not possible to look for experienced people because we were the first wind tower manufacturer in the country. So we look for young people with good English knowledge. If you take into account that, in a normal way, not with this pandemic situation, the world is more and more connected. Learning languages could be the perfect tool to open doors in future business world. To finish from my side, I would like to advise you not to feel obsessed with job searching. I am not going to lie you, situations will be hard after this COVID issue that has affected the whole world. But sooner or later, everything will return to normal basis and you will have your chance to prove your validity. Thanks again. If you have any questions, please feel free to...
I would like to
Okay. For you? You need it? Oh.
Well, I could do without it, but thank you. I just, as far as I'm concerned, you know Russian, you know English, and of course Spanish. And I wanted to ask, what kept you motivated? When you felt like you were about to give it up, what kept you motivated in terms of learning a language and staying in Russia apart from the working contract?
No, as I told you, work was the main purpose of coming, but to discover the world, it's, I think that embiggens your heart, your way of thinking, because it would be stupid to think that you only belong to one country and you are not going to leave this country never, and you are not going to face any difficulty with your own language. In the world we live now, it's almost impossible to have the same chances as other people if you close your mind to only one language. And the first motivation, as I have told, is that I want to have a life out of the work. So now I know that I am surrounded from Russian people, and if I need to speak Russian, it encouraged me to learn more and more. But for the moment, I know only a little bit amount of the Russian I would love to know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And also I wanted to ask, what was the hardest aspect of Russian to learn? Well, not in Russian, but in general.
For the perfect example with Russian is the alphabet, because I came from Spain and I knew English, I knew a little bit of German, and I knew, of course, Spanish. But when we came here, the first difficulty we have to face was the different letters we have to learn, because you have similar letters to us, but on the other hand, you have a complete world, a part of the Latin alphabet, let's say. And for one Spanish speaker, at least from my point of view, it's very, very difficult to get used our ears and our voice to your sounds, let's say.
I see. Thank you.
Welcome.
Well, students, you're welcome. Who would like to ask a question? Well, who wants to? All right. Anastasia, I'm coming to you. A microphone.
Well, 3 languages seems just impossible, but I have a simple question. Is it comfortable for foreigners to live in Russia in general? For example, is it comfortable to communicate with people on the streets, and are Russians helpful in that way?
Okay, I'm going to be sincere. When I came here the first time, we started our company in Taganrog. But due to the problems we had with the papers and so on, we have to manufacture first towers. We produce wind towers. We manufacture our first towers in Spain, and we bring here in a boat, and we assemble the towers in Ulianos. It was my first experience. I was here for 1 month, and I didn't have enough background as I have now, and it was incredibly difficult, because I have to say that at least in Europe, as far as I'm concerned, people try to help you a little bit more if they know that you don't speak. For example, if you're in Germany and you try to speak German and they see that you have problems, they change to English or they speak slowly. Here in Russia, it's not in that way. If they discover that you don't know Russian, they stop talking with you, or because the background you have, the culture shock of knowing English here with, I would say, people about 40-something years old is quite big. It's very difficult to find people here who knows English. Anyway, I am here and I need to be adapted to the world I am living in. So if I am in Russia, I need to teach and to learn Russian in my best way. Of course, I'm going to make 100 mistakes. Mary can tell you better than anyone. But I put all my efforts trying to speak Russian.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Well, students who would like to ask a questions, well, you're welcome. Okay, who is coming next? Well, all right, well, Ksenia, wait a sec, please, I'm coming.
I'm sorry for asking too many questions, probably, but I was interested about the amount of paperwork that you mentioned. Was it, you mentioned that it was difficult to get used to it, but do you feel that you in Spain need to do more paperwork to be more organized or something?
The point is that I understand that the paperwork is important because everything you do or everything you have to do has to be supported by some kind of documents or signatures or whatever. But the main point is that here in Russia you want to be very covered with papers, and sometimes you forget the final purpose of these papers. So you forget about the final purpose. I mean, I am working here for that, but I need to prepare 100 papers, and I focus more in these 100 papers than in the final result. If you ask me if I have get used to it, I will say yes. Because now, for example, I came from Rostov, my visa was expiring 13th of May, and I need to renew my passport, so I went to Moscow in January to the Spanish embassy. I renewed my passport, I returned in February to take my passport, then I went to Rostov a couple of times, and now I am still waiting for my visa. So I have to sign, I am not going to lie you, 12, 20 papers. Of course, I didn't understand anything. I was with the lawyer of the company, and he told me, initials, signature, initials, signature, initials, signature. I say, okay, can I write it in Spanish, my surname? That's all, yeah, you can. But for the moment, I think that to have one position in a Russian company regarding laws or regarding economical questions is one of the most difficult ones. So.
And how does it happen in Spain?
Sorry, again?
How does it happen in Spain?
In Spain, I think that everything is more intuitive, and we are quite lucky because we have very good, for example, in the hospital, we have a very good system, a very good health system, and everything is more with an ID card. You can go to the doctor without passport, without ID, without anything, because in this ID card is one number, and with this number, the doctor can see your complete technical, let's see, your data sheet of your life. When you was born, which vaccines do you have, if you have been in the hospital, if you have go through a surgery, everything is more intuitive, let's say. Of course, it was like, with this paperwork, it was like 30 years ago in Spain, of course, but we are going one step beyond, at least trying to. Nobody's perfect. Of course, I will tell you that in Spain we will have problems with our company too, and paperwork is always behind.
I see, thank you.
Welcome.
So, students, other questions? Well, you're welcome. Well, Juan, do you have any problems or challenges with our Russian food? What are your favorites?
Again, I had to get used to it. I know that, for example, you love a lot cucumbers, and this green stuff you put in everything. I don't know if it's celery or petrushka is in Russian. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, okay.
At the beginning, I didn't like it, but as with the language, you get used to it, and you get used to it more and more and more. And to be sincere, I don't have any problems here because you have quite good restaurants, quite good food, and it's not so different to European one. But maybe you have more soups than us, you like more salads and so on, but the rest is very similar.
Okay, and what about the drinks? Have you ever tried our popular ones?
Yeah, of course, sambuca, vodka, da, eso.
So there is a stereotype, you see, we are discussing with our students at our lectures that it is considered that the Russian people drink too much. Do you think it's true?
It was one of the first things I was advised when I was in Spain. Be careful with Russian people, never speak about politics, never speak about religion, and football is more or less okay. In Spain it's more taboo, let's say. And never go to drink with one Russian person. And I say, why? If I want to drink one beer after the work, they don't understand in the same way as we do in Spain. But after that, it's much more the legend than the truth. Of course, there is people that drinks in the daily basis, but in Spain we have this problem too. And a part of that, the image of Russian drinkers we have in Spain is not truth, completely not. You can enjoy in the same way as we do, and you are not, I mean, not all the Russians are people who drink vodka every day for breakfast, of course.
That's what I think. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you. Well, other questions? Well, you're welcome, students. Well, here's just a chance to practice. Ksenia, one more question. All right. So we're trying to interview Juan. Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. Oh, really? So maybe other students, well, who would like to ask a question, Olga Gennadьевна, about Spanish, about the Spanish language? No? Olga Gennadьевна, no? Okay, so what problems do you have in learning the Russian language?
For example,
What is your, I don't know, the most difficult one thing for you?
Listen, in Spain and in English, the sentences and the words are pretty similar. Doesn't matter what are you using them for. Here in Russia, you have the famous 6 cases that, depending for what you use a word, it has to end in one way or in another. If it is nominative, accusative, or something like that. And after so many years and all my efforts, it's one thing that I am not good at all in it. I try very much, but sometimes I made it good. A lot of times I made mistakes. Anyway, we have a very, very good teacher. She put a lot of effort trying to help us because she understands us when we speak Russian, but every time we made a small mistake, she points us this mistake in order not to repeat it again. But sometimes due to our work, I would love to spend more time learning Russian because I know that if I would be able to spend maybe 2 or 3 hours per week by my own to continue with the learning, it will be easier for everyone. But due to our work, sometimes it's not possible even to have lessons with Mary, so it's very unfair for her because I think that she's putting more effort than the one we can put nowadays. Anyway, 99% of our improvement is because of her. I can tell you that for sure.
I can believe that. Well, frankly speaking, we are on the same page. We're also constantly making mistakes in Russian, and Maria Yurievna is correcting us. So don't worry. What is easier? What was easier for you to learn, English or Russian?
English for sure.
English is
yeah,
easier.
And as I told you, I have learned German almost 8 years ago. I stopped very early. I didn't reach a very high level in German, but I thought that German was difficult until I knew Russian. And I guess that if we went to Oriental languages, it will be very similar to Russian because it's a different alphabet, which is most of the shock for Latin speakers, let's say.
I see what you mean, definitely. Well, other questions? Ksenia, you're welcome.
Thank you. And, well, I have the last question. It is about subjuntivo. Do you have any tips on how to understand this type?
Welcome to Spanish language.
Yes, this type of, this type of modo.
Modo.
Yeah, and since we started learning it, we have had quite a lot of problems, and we still do not understand when to use it and how and why.
When I learned subjuntivo in the school, because if you made mistakes in Russian, be sure that we made mistakes in Spanish too. And when I learned subjuntivo, which is another modo, the trick I used to remember is wish I. It's like express a wish with a verb. It's the way I learned subjuntivo. But it's the expression of a wish which is not truth. For the moment, I don't know if I have helped you a lot, but
actually, we have already heard this tip from Olga Gennadьевна, and it helps, kind of. But sometimes it doesn't because you have 3 forms that look very similar. It is hubiera dicho, había dicho, y había.
You are mixing present, subjunctive, you are and past.
Yes, the rule that we had in our book tells that they are pretty replaceable, and you can mix them the way you like and the way you wish.
Depending on the situation, I will tell you, in the same way if I speak in Russian now and I make a small mistake, you will understand me. I am pretty sure that if you speak and you mix like había or hubiera or something like this, everyone is going to understand you and you are going to make a very small mistake, and even sometimes you are not going to make this mistake because it depends on what do you want to say, and probably the most of the times the general meaning will be the same.
Okay. Well, thank you, but still I think we have a long way to go.
Of course, no. Learning a language is an endless road, no worries.
Thank you.
Конечно.
See, if you talk about Spanish, I would like to ask you what is the exact difference between pluscuamperfecto de subjuntivo and modo compuesto, because they all express desires and it's like unreal action. So, and as I know that sometimes
Pluscuamperfecto.
Pluscuamperfecto plus, yeah, okay, can combine, can combine with modo compuesto. So, I don't understand exact meaning.
In Spanish, we have another difficult form of verbs, which is compuesto, as you have said, is when we use the verb haber, which is to have in English, but in Spanish we use haber. The modo compuesto is when we use haber plus participle. And in subjuntivo, as far as I remember, because it was a long time ago for me, we don't have a modo compuesto. Yes?
Condicional. Condicional. Yeah.
But anyway, don't get obsessed with the forms of the verb, because I can tell you that I have learned them when I was 15, 16 years old. And after that, I have to tell that, like Irina has said, for Russians, Spanish people doesn't know how to speak neither very well. So no worries.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Welcome.
All right. Well, Natalia, I'm coming to you.
Thank you. I'm sorry, maybe I didn't understand you properly, but I have a question. Why did you decide to conduct your business in Russia?
Listen, when we came here, I belong to a Spanish company, which name is Wind Renovables. We are working with wind energy. Okay, we are making towers. I don't know if you have had the chance of seeing our video or our website or even the towers in. Not far away from here, I think that we have the first wind park. I don't remember the name, if it's Gukovo or something like this, or Novosaktinsk. There is a couple of wind farms here. Listen, we came here as the third company, together with Rusnano and Severstal. The name of the company is WRS, Windar Rusnano Severstal. And we see an incredible potential in Russian motherland. You know, you have a lot of space, you have a lot of wind, you have good welders, you have good metal in the north, in Severstal, and the business was, nobody was taking care of it. I know, on the other side, that you have a lot of petrol, you have a lot of gas, and green energy is not a highly estimated topic here. Anyway, as I have told to my colleagues, sooner or later, those energies from petrol, gas, or something like this are going to disappear. So I think that green energy deserves a place in Russia. I am very glad to belong to a company which has started this green energy, and I think that it's a very profitable road to continue, and of course it's good for the environmental issues.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello. Well, returning to the theme of culture. So what do you find, what stereotypes of Russians do you find the most ridiculous and the most untruth?
From Spain?
Yes.
The first of all, I would say that they pointed Russian people as hard drinkers. All of them know how to use a Kalashnikov, you can see beers in the street and so on, everything is frozen in winter. Listen, the world now is big enough to know that you know your country and even you don't know the whole of your country, so you have to open your mind and don't trust people or don't trust news, and if you are able to discover by yourself, go and do it. I was surprised because when I come here, I was 28 years old, and one shock that we have is like people here were very old and they didn't want to be taught by young Spanish people that doesn't know anything and so on and so on. After all, they were quite stubborn, they had their ideas and they don't want to change, but I can tell you that don't expecting a European behavior. they have changed their minds, and of course, we can work now on normal basis. And not all the Russians drink vodka. It's not frozen in the streets when it's winter, and I have not seen a beer for the moment. So I can tell you that there is a lot of stereotypes that have to be broken, and thanks to that the world is becoming bigger and bigger, and hopefully the borders will not disappear, but disappear in one word. Hopefully these stereotypes, stupid stereotypes on the other side, will disappear.
Thank you. May I ask another
Yeah, of course,
question? What characteristic of Russian people do you like most?
I was very surprised at the beginning because they are very hard workers. Maybe they don't know the techniques, maybe they don't care a lot about... I am quality director, and I have to tell that I had a very long way to walk regarding quality. And not to be selfish, the other main aspect was health and safety. So I will say that Russian people know how to work in their way, and they will reach the target. And this is one characteristic I like a lot from Russian people. Anyway, we had to teach them how to achieve in a proper way, on a safe way, and reaching the quality our client is asking.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, any other questions, students, colleagues? All right, well, thank you very much.
Thanks
well,
to you again, and thanks for your time.
We are going to end this question period. Oh. And Juan, well, please. So I would like to give you this certificate of participation. Okay. Just that is not all. Well, you're welcome. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, and so I have one more thing for you. That is a thank you letter on behalf of the Institute of Management in Economic, Ecological, and Social Systems and the Department of Linguistics of the Southern Federal University. We would like to express our deep gratitude for your recent participation in the plenary session organized by our university. Your report was of high relevance and evoked an extremely positive response from our participants. And the follow-up discussion that you conducted was also much appreciated by our faculty members as well as by the many attending students. We will be looking forward to welcoming you again as soon as possible at Southern Federal University. Well, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, dear colleagues and dear students. We are going to have a break. Don't forget that you have to stay for some minutes to make a photo of all of us, right? And we will continue with teachers, the plenary session number 2. And I would like to invite all students for parallel papers tomorrow at 10 o'clock, right? Tuesday at 10. And thank you very much. See you here, stay here. We will make a photo, right? Thank you. Thank you very much, students. Thank you.